Hello, I'm Nika, and for the last 6 months I've been studying business management at Open University, and up until now I had only positive things to say about my experience. But the day has come and I'm planning to rant. So let me begin. First, some words of introduction. In Open University, you usually get assigned your tutor. That's the person that you usually contact if you have any questions. And I usually tend to go to the tutorials that are led by my tutor, but this time I couldn't make it. So there's no problem if you can't make it. You can go to the tutorial led by a different tutor, not problem. And I've done this before, and I always had good experiences, except one cranky microphone. Except from that, all good experiences, and my tutor is great. But this guy today, it's just, I'm out of words. First, he came 15 minutes late, and I understand that life happens, but he pretty much said that he forgot, and I'm just like, it's so disrespectful. Anyway, so maybe I was just biased from the start. Anyway, we started the tutorial, and we were talking about the globalization, and he asked about the phones, and he asked what the phones are made of. I'm an electrical engineer, so I didn't want to be too specific, so I said silicon, and he said, that's too specific. He said phones are made of metal and glass, and I'm like, yeah, okay, whatever. And then he continued, and he actually said, and I noted down, he said, phones are actually like a small computers, and they have microcontrollers in them. Like, really? Really? We all know that. We live in 21st century. It's like, I'm not an 8-year-old baby. I know that. But maybe it's not a common knowledge. Maybe it's just something I know because I'm an engineer, but I thought it's a common knowledge. And later in the tutorial, he started explaining to us what the PayPal was. And it's like, I thought we all know what PayPal is. Like, do you understand what I'm saying? It's nice if he kind of says one sentence of introduction in case someone doesn't know it, but he was telling us how this is a new amazing system that lets you do the payments through the internet using your email and phone number, and I'm just like, yeah, I know. Anyway, the other thing that annoyed me that he asked where some raw materials are coming from, and someone in the tutorial said Asia, and the tutor was like, that's a good answer, but we should be more specific. We should say whether it's coming from North Korea, South Korea, Japan, China, Taiwan. It makes a big difference. And I'm kind of, I agree with that. It makes a big difference where it comes from. Like, the economies there and markets are completely different. But then after that, 2 minutes later, he said, and again, I have written it down. He said, those former Soviet-controlled countries like Czechoslovakia, former Yugoslavia, Poland, or whatever. And so what? Are we distinguishing between Asian countries, but what? Eastern European countries doesn't matter because it's all the same? I mean, maybe I'm Polish, so maybe that's why it triggers me, but just come on, let's be consistent here. And yeah, that was the moment when I decided to record this video, and that's not the end. I have one more. One more was, it's not really the code, it's a concept, because we were talking about, again, globalization. So he said that right now, whenever you are at work and you're working and your company has an office in China, you can send them the message and you got the answer straight away. And I'm like, no, you don't, because of the time difference. And I know that because my company has their branch in China. That's the first thing. And the second thing is that it says it in the books, and it's just not me being nitpicking. It's a real life, and it's in the book. The book says that despite the technological advancements, there still might be some problems in the communication due to time difference. So it's like, maybe that one wasn't too big, but quality of the tutorial overall, not only was he late, but everything seems to be so rushed through and like not really explained correctly, and he finished his tutorial in 45 minutes, even though the assigned time was an hour. And I don't think it was just my opinion, because I would have dropped out of this tutorial, but I decided to make the video, and I continue looking at the number of participants in the site, and the number keeps dropping and dropping and dropping, and like, it never happened in any tutorial before. And I'll be honest with you, I was very surprised but also disappointed at Open University because I would have thought that they control their tutors better and that they choose their people better. Also, I have to admit that before I entered Open University, I read some comments online, and there were some comments online that were kind of negative towards the tutors. And because my tutors were great, I kind of thought that these were just students who are not satisfied with their marks and they are like talking such a bad stuff about tutorials out of the spite. And out of the spite and out of sorrow that they didn't get the mark they deserve. But actually, if they had this guy, I totally understand them because this tutorial was terrible, this tutorial was rubbish. Let me finish on a positive note. Yes, I know, after all this ranting, finishing on a positive note might seem a little bit off, but let me at least try. So this tutorial was a complete failure and disaster, I admit. But that was one bad apple, and other tutorials in Open University are not like this. And some tutorials are recorded, that one wasn't. I have an access to tutorials done by other tutors, so I can just go and rewatch them. It's just, nothing will give me back an hour of wasted time in this pointless and rushed tutorial. Hope that next time when we will see each other, I will be able to tell you some more positives about my experience. Bye!